Pecha Kucha, it's Japanese for the sound of conversations, or the sound of casual chatter. Pecha Kucha Night was started in 2003 by Tokyo architects Astrid Klein and Mark Dytham as an event hosted at their club Super Deluxe, where artists and designers and architects could come and network and show their work. A strict format was implemented, 20 images for 20 seconds each. That gives you 6 minutes and 40 seconds to make your point, and then the next person is up. This helps to keep the presentations brief and concise, allows more people a chance to show, and it keeps the interest level high. Since that time, Pecha Kucha Nights have popped up in dozens of cities around the globe, sort of like a viral franchise. Many document the events on their websites, often uploading the slides for viewing. The Berlin Pecha Kucha Night website archives the audio of each presentation. Surely none of that is as good as being there in person. Speaking of being there in person, other creative events that take place in public are the cut and paste competition, where chosen designers go head-to-head in 15-minute art battle sessions, user-generated conferences such as Bar Camp and Creative Camp, and at the recent AIGA conference they had an American Idol-style competition. Another interesting phenomenon is PowerPoint karaoke, where a random presentation is selected and the presenter has to speak to it without having seen it ahead of time. Some people have created a tool that will search the internet and serve you up a random presentation. That's bound to have some funny results. Many in the corporate world have picked up on Pecha Kucha as an exercise for streamlining PowerPoint presentations, as opposed to allowing people to just put up a giant list of bullets and read off the screen. A lot of presentations could benefit from some strict formats. Here's an example of a parody of the use of PowerPoint in military presentations, and I've spared you the animation on this one. This really shows PowerPoint being used as a crutch, and many have criticized the use of PowerPoint in military briefings. Why not just put up a photo and put the focus of the presentation on to you delivering your content? The photo can support your point or contradict it. Like in Stephen Colbert on the Colbert Report will often have an image on the screen that totally contradicts what he's saying. It's good for a laugh, at least. Blink is a book I've enjoyed recently, and it introduces us to the concept of thin slicing, where the brain can process large amounts of information, often visual, and then make snap decisions based on it. It might be the process at work behind what we credit to intuition often. This graphic is 90% useless, not much data density, as opposed to this New York Times weather graphic, which is something that Edward Tufte often shows at his presentations. It's a high-resolution display of information. You can get a lot of it. You can get a lot out of it, both at a glance and upon closer inspection. Recent studies show that recall of ads is very high, even when you're fast-forwarding through them, and perhaps this will lead to high-speed, rapid-fire image advertisements like the Blipverts and Max Headroom. But those made people's heads explode, so hopefully they're proceeding carefully with that. I think YouTube is using 3-second ads in front of some of their movies. All that is to say that you can do a lot with a little. Choose your pixels wisely. It's a good lesson for icon design and interface design. You can say a lot in a small amount of space, but at the same time, don't overdo it and don't distract. Constraints can actually encourage creativity. As designers, we love to solve problems. We love to have constraints and be presented with a difficult problem. Often the hardest projects are the ones where there are no constraints at all, and the possibilities become limitless, and it can be paralyzing. A good example of design from constraints is the 5K competition from the year 2000, when the challenge was to create a functioning website in 5K or less, which seemed like a ridiculous task, but the entries were extremely creative, and the winning entry actually had a fully functioning shopping cart. So constraints are good. Don't just think outside the box. Bring that left field thinking back and relate it to the box. The constraints of the real world, the budgets, your time, your business requirements. and collaborate. The Pixel Town is an example of collaborative artwork within a framework of constraints. Participants choose their triangles or multiple triangles on the grid and then work within the constraints of the rules, coordinating scale and color and making space for other people's work. The Exquisite Corp brings the element of surprise to collaborative art. It's a surrealist parlor game where each participant takes turns writing or drawing on a sheet of paper, which is folded each time so the next person only sees a small piece from which they have to create their piece. Artists do this now online, sometimes with added rules just for fun, like all vector art or all black and white art. I wonder if this could be brought into the corporate world by doing a interface design corpse or HTML corpse, even a wireframe corpse. The results are often grotesque, but interesting ideas and unexpected ideas can come of it. So what is the bottom line of all this? Innovate within constraints. Think beside the box. Do a lot with a little. Balance information density with efficiency of communications. Get out and share, collaborate, communicate, add your voice to the sound of conversations. Pecha Kucha.